For my personal growth project this semester, I chose the topic of learning how to complete basic maintenance on my car and also fix minor issues that are pretty common. The reason why I selected this is because I wanted to learn how to be self-sufficient and be able to fix any issues that I might have while driving down the road. For example, if my tire blows while going down the interstate, I will know how to replace my tire with my spare tire and change the tire. That way I won't be stranded on the side of the interstate until AAA can come get me. I really thought this was a good idea for me to learn because it will just help me, like I said, become self-sufficient and really be a good piece of useful knowledge. So my mentor was my fiance. His name is Hunter. He owns a automotive-related business, and he has been into cars forever, pretty much since he was a little kid. So he was a really good person to teach me, not only because he's very, very well-versed in car knowledge and can rebuild an engine and all this kind of stuff, but also it's somebody who cares about me and really wants me to know this stuff, that way I'll be safe. So he did give me some feedback when I was trying to learn, and a lot of that was just that I needed to be patient. An issue that I had would I would just kind of get flustered when I couldn't figure something out. For example, when he was teaching me how to check my oil in my car, like without him showing me where the dipstick was and where to check my oil, I had a hard time finding it. So I would get kind of flustered until he helped me, but he wanted me to try on my own first. That way I could kind of, if I did get it right, I could prove to myself that, and I could be more confident. But aside from being more patient, he also gave me feedback that was positive. He let me know that, it was good that I was determined and that I kept trying to learn. And he said once I was patient, that I picked up on the names of parts really quickly, and that I was able to learn quickly once I became patient. So I did take his feedback in a good way. I was able to use it constructively and use it to help me and advance my knowledge. So after he told me just to be patient and to relax and calm down and not stress out about it, I was able to really just relax and learn. I was able to not focus on, being flustered and frustrated, but instead I was able to excel by just focusing on the task at hand and just being determined to learn. So that really helped me. Like I said, once I became patient, I was able just to flourish in it and learn very quickly. So the connections that this skill and this entire project of personal growth, how it kind of connects to class is, one, I think it directly correlates to my values. One of my values from the beginning of the semester, in the first values activity that we did, was determination. And I think this goes hand in hand, as mentioned previously, because I was determined throughout this entire project to learn basic car maintenance and how to fix minor repairs, because I wanted to learn and I wanted to be more self-sufficient, which goes on to my next value too, trustworthiness, which I've spun on. I've taken a different spin on trustworthiness in this connection because I believe that it helps me trust myself in the sense of that I can rely on myself, that I don't have to rely on others. It kind of spins it on, as if trustworthiness means that people can rely on me, that means that I also can rely on myself with this knowledge and know that if AAA is going to take 2 hours to get there, or if my fiance Hunter can't come help me for an hour because he's an hour away, that I can fix my tire if it blows out on the interstate, I can change it, or, I can just make minor repairs that can get me back on the road, or at least to a shop, so I'm not just sitting on the side of the road, which can be very dangerous. Another connection to a concept in class would be active and reflective listening. I really feel like that went hand in hand with the project because I had to actively listen and I reflected on everything he said and also responded by understanding. So not only did I hear and understand what he said, but I really made an effort to reflect and then respond accordingly and not just waste his time per se. I really tried to digest every word and understood where he was coming from and listened. This can also relate to feedback. in the sense of I took his feedback in a constructive manner instead of just having a negative attitude about it and just not being able to really listen to him. When he told me to be more patient, instead of getting even more flustered and aggravated with him by saying that, what I did was I took it as a positive and said, okay, I'm really going to focus on being patient and just dedicating this time to learning about car maintenance and repairs and focus on that and just being patient. And that really helped once I started actively and reflectively listening. The third concept that this project related to in class for me was Clifton Strengths. So I related the Clifton Strengths to this project because two of my strengths were being strategic and being futuristic. So I took this as learning these basic minor repairs for common issues and basic car maintenance was a strategy because that makes me where I'm more self-sufficient, as mentioned earlier. It's a strategic move that means that I will be able to help myself and rely on myself if something happens, and I don't have to rely on other people. So I use it as a strategy to prevent myself from being in any kind of situation that I don't want to be in. That also leads me into the futuristic strength by saying that I'm looking forward. So I'm preparing. I'm using this opportunity to prepare for something that might happen to me in the future. You know, everybody probably ends up having to be in a situation where they need their tires changed, you know, on the side of the road at least one time in their life. So I'm just preparing for the future and thinking ahead by learning these skills. So that'll really help me in that aspect. Another connection to a topic in class that I made with this project is feedback and mentoring. I think that directly relates to this project because my mentor gave me feedback. So that means that I was able to learn from him, learn from the feedback and constructive criticism that he gave me, and really learned how to utilize that to help myself, and also use that to learn about how I can give feedback to other people in the same way that I looked up to him as a mentor in this, and I trusted him, and it also helped me to learn how to be a better mentor by doing some of the things that he did and learning from his expertise. And the final connection to a topic in class that I made was emotional intelligence. This one I would say connects to this project because you have to be emotionally intelligent to really work well with your mentor, in the sense that you have to recognize emotions and also be able to recognize your own emotions. I use this self-awareness and self-management quite a bit in this because when I did get frustrated and flustered, I recognized that emotion in me, that I was frustrated at myself in the task at hand, and I was able to recognize that emotion, understand it, and then manage it so I could get so I could learn the skill, get the task done, and focus solely on learning this skill. So that really helped me grow personally because it just made me pick up on those things. I learned about myself in this that I'm very determined to learn even when I get frustrated and struggle to grasp something. This means that I really just was determined and focused on learning even if I was struggling. I'll use what I learned about myself in this, that I'm determined, in the future because I'll use my determination and will as a strength and as a positive versus being strong-headed or thinking that I'm strong-headed or stubborn. This project taught me about my leadership ability in the sense that I'm able to listen and learn from a mentor and others, which means that I'll be able to actively listen with my followers and build skill sets that I can improve my leadership. I really enjoyed this project, and please enjoy a couple clips of me trying to learn how to work on cars. I learned how to change my oil and also check my oil. So what I did was my mentor, Hunter, taught me to remove a bolt, which allows the oil to drain. And then I went in, I took the old oil filter out and replaced it with a new one. And then what I did after that was I just topped off the oil, replaced it, and that was it. In addition to learning how to change my oil, I also learned how to change my tire. So what I did for changing a tire was I learned how to loosen all of the lug nuts in the wheel and then remove the wheel and then replace the new wheel and tire, put it back on the lug nuts, and then just tighten them, and then I'm good.